Must have been it.
Awesome. What are you working on tonight? Other than like not killing your phone.
Right? Oh my gosh, it's so frustrating. Tonight, for our beach themed craft, we were going to make uh, actual sand dough, and then we're going to make magnets out of
Ooh.
them. I thought that might be fun. You can use sand dough to make a lot of different things, but I figure, an hour or so, that'll be
Here.
nice.
Yay. Sorry. Getting excited for people in the chat, but anyway, that's awesome. I don't think I've ever made sand dough.
Oh no, it's
remember
fun.
like
It's a fun
a while
medium.
ago, you guys you had done a bunch of stuff with concrete, and that was always like, wow, I never thought of concrete as like a medium, but
oh yeah, I love concrete.
I just got like super motivated by you, so I actually went to the Dollar Tree to get crafting stuff. So
oh
I was
yeah,
surprised.
very
They
cool.
have some pretty cool stuff. So I'll probably make cards, but I will show you all the fun things I found. So
Yeah.
surprising to no one, I found summer napkins, and what I'm going to do is adhere these to a card front, and I sort of pre-prepped it, but I can show y'all how to do that as well. And then I was kind of surprised. They have really nice card bases. I mean, they're little note cards, but like I feel like I can cut the front off of these, and these are both foiled. So these are gonna. I don't know if these aren't open. Let me fix that, and then you can see that they're foiled. But I was surprised because I don't usually go there looking for like paper stuff, but I probably should.
Yeah, they have expanded their craft supplies a lot. I was surprised too.
Look how sparkly! It's all sparkly. These are for those paper crafters who care. These are pretty lightweight, but I think we can just cut along this like fold line and have some pretty cool stuff to work with. So I got tropical florals and some leaves to play with. I don't actually have a plan because I'm just gonna wing it because it's me.
Yeah,
and I found these
cute
little I think they're table scatters, which I guess are a thing that I didn't know existed, but I'm thinking I can use them as like embellishments of some sort.
Oh yeah.
But they're kind of like sparkly fun foam, basically. Sorry, Pam, you're probably gonna have a conniption. The glitter is not very safe. like they shed a bit, but I swear I won't send you this card or cards. But tell us about sand dough, Marc. I'm curious, like how that goes together because I don't.
Oh yeah, sand dough. It's like it's not like there's also sand Play-Doh, which is like you make it up, give it to the kids to play, but you really wouldn't make something out of it that you would want to keep. And then there's sand dough, and it's sand like from the beach, or you can get the Dollar Tree stuff too if you want the colored stuff. And then you mix it up with a few ingredients: flour, water, a little bit of glue. And then you can play with it and mold it and do whatever you want with it. And then it dries hard, either air dry, or you could pop it in the oven. You could even set it in the sun. There's different ways of doing that.
But that's really cool.
Good. Yeah. In fact,
I remember, what did I play with? We had that that air dry salt dough you can make. I remember that from kindergarten quite a bit. And so this is just cardstock with, I used, you could use Mod Podge or anything. I happen to have some of this acrylic matte stuff left over from, I think this is actually, these are Hobby, no, this is a Michael's brand, I think, Creative Inspirations. It's somebody's knockoff store brand, but it works pretty well. But basically, I just got this whole card coated in it and then glued the napkin to it to make kind of a neat thing. And I'm going to cut this one down, and I can demo how to do this, but if you've ever worked with like Mod Podge or this stuff, it basically works the same way. But I did it in advance because you kind of like the napkins are very fragile, so you kind of have to let it dry or it will get displeased on you. But I'll cut this one down and then I'll just give you a quick how to do it if folks are interested. Oh, also, since this stuff is basically like all these like polymer collage, whatever, it's all basically plastic at the end of the day. Like you kind of need a beefier cutter. Like if you've probably seen me use like my drop-in cutter that looks kind of like this. It's got a little itty bitty blade. You'll wreck your blade if you do that. So I'm gonna clean this up a little, and then I actually like the one. I like this one with the flour or the lemon quite a bit. Maybe I should measure. There's a thought. This came out pretty good. Like there's not really many, like what usually happens is if you don't put enough stuff down, you have kind of corners like this where it kind of peels up, but you can always go back in and touch it up, which I'll probably do. Actually, I will definitely do that, but see if I can't cut this to length first. There we go.
Oh yeah, salt.
But that's cool. I always feel like I neglect like projects I used to do in kindergarten that would be really fun, like adult craft projects.
Mm-hmm. Oh yeah, I'm like all about that. I love doing stuff like that I did younger and maybe try to, I don't know, enhance it a little bit. But I mean, some of the greatest memories I ever had were doing crafts like with my grandma, and there's no reason why you can't do it when you're an adult. None, especially if you have kids too.
Yeah. I agree. I mean, it's just kind of fun. So I just added a little bit more of this just to kind of glue it down a little bit. And if I get impatient, we'll see if I need to really have this be dry. I'm just using a random paintbrush I had around, but like I really need this to be dry. Hit it with a paint tool.
You use just a regular paintbrush.
I am like the Dollar Tree solution is to just like a foam brush works great, and then you don't have to worry about cleaning this stuff out because it will kind of wreck your paintbrush because like it's plastic at the end of the day. But I'm gonna grab some water so I don't wreck my paintbrush. And the more this like matte stuff you use, or the more the like collage or acrylic or Mod Podge or whatever you decide to use, like the more it's gonna get kind of not necessarily shiny, but the more you're gonna get more of a texture. If you actually do this with like tissue paper, it's really cool because the tissue paper gets kind of translucent. But you can see you get these kind of neat little wrinkly bits. So it gives you sort of it gives you a lot of texture without actually doing very much, which is why I kind of like it. And I mean, how often do you find like cute napkins and you're kind of like, well, I'd like to somehow use those in a slightly more permanent form. But I think I have.
Oh, wow. You made Kool-Aid dough. I never even heard of that.
Me either.
Wow. Yeah, that's funny. Oh, I got to check that out.
I didn't know you worked at a preschool, Pam. That's kind of cool. Well, it's funny because, like, I think my mom also worked primarily with 4-year-olds as, like, as her career before being retired.
That was really good. I bet.
But it's funny, of course, it's like if you work with kids as your job, it's like by the time you're ready to retire, you're probably like done working with kids. I think. It's like both my mom and my aunt like had jobs working with children, and now they're like, yeah, children are nice from a distance,
All right. Do you want me to explain what I'm doing?
Oh, yes, please. That'd be awesome.
Okay, I'm just going to make up the dough. So if we're going to do that. So what I started with in my bowl here was 1 cup of just regular all-purpose flour. And then to that, we just added about 1/3 of a cup of water. And we're just going to mix it together until a dough forms kind of like that. And then to that, we're going to add 1 cup of sand of your choice. I'm using sand from the beach, and I kind of sifted it because there was, broken shells and stuff in there. But and then we're just going to mix that up, and then that flour mixture will gradually take on all of that sand, and then we're just going to kind of like knead it like you would knead like maybe bread dough. until it's all incorporated in there. It only takes a minute, and you'll be able to tell. I should have done the colored. You could see the colored ones. Well, that's okay.
So you could use like aquarium sand, basically, if you wanted it to be like colors.
Yep, yeah, any kind. Yeah, I have all these colors from the Dollar Tree to do funky ones. Like if I was going to do something funky. And what's nice about this dough is you can use it in molds. You could use it, like you could roll it out and use cookie cutters to cut them to make maybe ornaments or gift tags. You can hand shape them and mold them like you would clay, like air dry clay. It's really cool. And then when it dries, you know, it looks like, well, sand, you know. And I have some done here. I'll show you as soon as we do this. Are we almost there? We are almost there. Yeah. There you go. I don't know if you can, yeah, you can see how it like
really
cooks
cool.
the sand. Yeah.
Yeah.
And then to that, we are going to take some craft glue, like tacky glue or Mod Podge, and we're going to add 1/2 of a tablespoon of glue to that.
Oh, that's not much at all, is it?
No, it's not. No.
Well, I didn't realize that they had Mod Podge at the Dollar Tree. I was like noticing
I
that.
know,
I was kind of
right?
like I have one open, so I wasn't gonna like get a new one, but I was like, oh well, this is technically a Dollar Tree. Like a totally, like if I don't throw in other stuff, it's technically a totally Dollar Tree project, maybe, sort of.
Yeah, right. Yeah.
But I mean, I think you're right. They really sort of upped. I don't know. Mine just keeps getting new stuff.
I know. Mine does
So
too.
I'm always like, oh, I should come here more often. But
And then finally, we're going to add one more 1/2 cup of sand. And then at this point, after the glue, I usually add about 1/2 of it first. And then you'll be able to tell, depending on the flour and the moisture and all that, you know, just, you know, you want to add it until you get the consistency that you want. It usually does take the whole 1/2 cup, but we shall see. And then we're just going to continue to, like, you know, like kind of fold and knead until it takes all the sand in, and then we're done with the dough.
Oh, I see. So it's kind of like biscuit dough, where you sort of add it,
Yes.
but you want it to not be like so crumbly that it's hard to work with.
Yes, right. And I'll show you. Oh, let's just get dirty here. There we go. I have a wet towel here.
Mark is from Pennsylvania. Well, I don't know if you're from Pennsylvania, but you live in Pennsylvania now.
I do.
It gets confusing because, yeah, because it's like I was from Connecticut, but I've lived in Wisconsin for 20 years. So it's like, where am I really from? It's confusing.
Yeah, right. Yeah. But I used to live in Pittsburgh. I was born and raised in Pittsburgh.
Oh, cool.
I should reach.
We'll show you guys sort of the first step of this whole process. The biggest thing is to not use too much of your Mod Podge or whatever, because the desire is to just dump a whole bunch on, and then it's going to be kind of a pain to work with. So I kind of do like that much, and then get it around, and then try and line up my napkin. But like once it's kind of down, I just sort of leave it down to sort of set like that. But the only downside to working with napkins really is like they're not that resilient. So I have to use restraint to not like want to futz with it too much.
Because it'll tear?
Yeah.
I gotcha.
And if you do have like this isn't really a problem with Dollar Tree napkins, but like if you were starting with like a multi-layer napkin, like getting rid of everything but the layer you actually want to work with is pretty good. Oh, and I got this slightly wet. So anyway, this is kind of, and it will kind of start bowing. So like, don't worry about that. But like at this stage, I basically have to let it dry. But like the one we were touching up before, like this is totally dry now. So it dries like super fast. I'm sure some of that is that it's like, you know, that time of year when it's kind of humid here, actually. I don't know. We've been having weird weather in Wisconsin. I don't know about you
Oh,
guys, but like
we have to.
it can't decide if it wants to be 50 or 90, basically.
Right.
And then this was the other napkin that I thought this would be really cool. Like it reminded me of like, I don't know, I'm gonna date myself, but if you remember sort of those like 90s sunsets like things, it reminds me of that.
Oh yeah.
Like it was, it was sort of like I think when like California everything was popular in like suburban Connecticut. So I don't know what year
Yeah.
that is. Probably like 10 years after it was really popular in normal places.
Right. Mark, I love your shirt off. Thank you.
I agree. You guys always have like the coolest like coordinated shirts. Although
we try.
now, do you just find those, or do you? I know some of them are custom, but I didn't know if like they started out that way, or if that's just sort of happened.
I keep an eye out for them, and like I made this one. I printed it out and then cut it and ironed it on. So some of them I make, and then some of them I just keep an eye out and get like ones that match. All right.
Here we go.
Almost ready here.
We'll see if this is going to be a fail or not. This is going to be a fail. Because that just... This is a 2-ply, and this is what happens when you do it wrong. Like, so I've adhered the first ply, but not the second one. So I'll fix that one later. This one I went back and then put more of the acrylic stuff on top. You can tell, I don't know if it comes through here, but like there's little shimmery bits that you can tell. Actually, those might be glitter from something, but no, I think it's actually the napkin itself. But I'm gonna see if I can punch this out and have it look cool. These look cool.
Wait, you don't want to use 2-ply?
You can use 2-ply. You just want to get rid of like the ply that doesn't have any color on it, so that you glue the like colored side directly down. Or you have kind of this scenario where like the top comes off and you've done a really good job adhering this one. Of course, if you like saturate the whole thing with like the Mod Podge stuff, like then it doesn't really become an issue because it's all kind of, let's see if I can punch this. Oh, well, that would have been bad. There we go. There we go. So we have our little sun thing. I feel like we have our little sunset. I don't know if these make sense to go together. I don't know. Maybe I'll grab. I think I have some ocean something that I'll use for this one. But I think this would look really cool just with a flamingo in front of it. Let me grab. I think blue would look really nice with that because I have too much teal. Yeah.
Okay. Ready.
That way.
I can't reach my towel really fast.
No worries. Where's 4 inches? Here we go. 4 1/4 somewhere. Wow.
I'm gonna add a little water. Yeah.
Just to make it easier to work with, basically.
Yeah, I'm just getting the consistency that I want. Like, you don't want it to just totally like fall apart, but you don't want it to be like a solid mass, And you get that by kneading. I think I added too much water, so I gotta add more sand.
There we are. However many years of doing this, you'd think I could just cut things straight the first time, but it's always an experiment.
Did
Yeah,
you
I
always
think I
make
appreciate.
cards? Did you always make cards? Like, have you been doing this for a while and then
So
stop?
it's a funny story. So like when I was like a little-ish kid, like we had like this print shop program that came with like the first computer my parents ever bought. So I used to like, print out cards from that thing. And like, they were just sort of, if you remember like the old dot matrix printers, like you would
Oh yeah.
basically, it's a single sheet of paper, like an 8.5 by 11. You just fold it into quarters, and it was like the software like was smart enough to print it out, and you could like
Yeah.
essentially have like very like old school clip art. So I did
Oh
that
yeah.
as like a really little kid, but the short answer is no. So in about 2019, I got really into like acrylic and watercolor painting for I forget why. Um my dad wasn't my dad's always been my dad was briefly into both of those things, but really tends to like the water mixable oils. But I just sort of started it as like because I really I had made a bunch of like Christmas cards that were like very simple watercolor things, like tape things off and make a triangle and call it a tree. Um, but like once I had gotten into painting, the problem is like, well, then you have paintings all over your house, and there's only so much space, and then you're kind of like I have a lot of wall space, but it's kind of like I don't know. I still have this problem with a couple cards where it's like they're not good, but because I made them at a point in time when I was learning, like I can't just throw them away because like they have significance to me, but like I would never send them to anyone because they're not like very structurally sound and a few other minor details. But anyway, but like I quickly realized with like doing the Christmas cards, right? Like the benefit is like I can give these things away and then they're not in my house anymore.
Uh-huh.
Um, which was great because I was like, okay, well now that they're gone, like, hey, I can make more stuff. So that was kind of the whole beginning of it, and then I really got into like doing kits. So no, I mean I've really only been doing it on the internet for like I don't know a year or two at this point. It's longer
Oh,
than I
okay.
think.
Yeah.
It's recent in the like history of my life, but I don't know. I've just
Well, it's just funny when you said about the cards. It's like we're kind of similar with your cards here because I kept every one that you sent us, and I have them hung on the wall back there. And I'm like running out
oh,
of
that's
space. I'm
awesome.
like, it's so funny because you made those little canvases and then the
Oh yeah.
cards, and and they're all up on the wall. And I'm like, oh my gosh, we're gonna need more space.
Yeah, and that's like I don't know. It's an ongoing thing, and I've actually never thrown out a card anyone sent me because like I'm fine with throwing out my own cards, right? Like I wouldn't have a problem doing that, but it's sort of like, well, if somebody else did it, like I don't know, it's just special
Yeah,
to
yeah.
me, right? Because someone
Oh
took
yeah,
the
me
time.
too.
So it's like, well, it's like this person I haven't talked to in 3 years. It's like, well, I don't know, like I still want to kind of hang on to it,
Mm-hmm.
but I don't know. One of my friends said recently, like that it's sort of human nature to collect something, and the more I think about it, the more I kind of believe that. Where it's like, if I wasn't collecting like craft supplies, collecting craft supplies, but I don't know. I'm always impressed with like all the crafts you do that like craft supplies haven't taken over your house. I always
Oh no,
like,
they have.
oh
Well,
okay,
they've taken over this. We'll have to do like a apartment tour or something. But this whole wall on this side of me here is there's shelves and it's all craft supplies. And then on this side is the walk-in closet, like it's a skinny walk-in,
oh
and
okay,
there's more in there.
oh okay. No, I don't
Yeah,
feel quite so
it's
bad. I'm like, I don't know.
no,
The
no. All crafters, I think, know this. And I'm constantly looking for like organization ideas and stuff, and
Yeah.
it's just, I don't know. It's like, because I'm kind of like you. I don't throw anything away. Like, I know I'm going to need this seashell someday. I know it. So I'm going to just put it somewhere and I lose it.
Yeah, I don't know. I look at all the custom organization stuff for crafters, and I'm like, it's cool, but if I put it all away, I just would think that would be another thing that I could fill up with stuff.
Yep. And then if it's too much, like if you put it, I forget what I have and what I don't have. And then I'm, buying the same stuff over and again. I don't know. There has
Yeah.
to be an easier way. And I'm sure there is. And we'll figure it out. I'm thinking of going all the way to the ceiling, actually, but I mean, we'll figure that out another day. Okay, so I wanted to show you. This is kind of the consistency that you
Neat.
want for the dough. It's kind of like bread dough in a way, like that. And it'll still, you can still, yeah, you can still break it apart, But so that's what we're doing. And then while you're talking there, I wanted to show you that you don't have to have molds. You can use anything. Like I'm going to be using, these are like just lids, um, from jars, and these are little plastic lids from little souffle cups. And then I do have some silicone molds here. These are flowers. These are my favorite ones. I've used this for everything. And even little Tupperware containers work perfectly, like if you want to make a little plaque or something like that. And then last, ice cube trays are perfect. The silicone ones, perfect for this kind of thing. So I'm just going to start. I'm going to do a mold one first. And do you want me to aim it down or do it and show it?
It's fine. Whichever's easier for your setup, really.
Okay, I'll just do it. So I'm just taking a small amount of. We're going to do this first. They're flowers, and I'm just taking a small amount of dough, and I'm just going to press it into the mold, and then I'll show you. And then I'll stop talking for a minute. There we go. So we just want to push it down as best we can. Okay. There we go there. And then we're going to make these into magnets. So the back is, kind of flat there. And then I'll just fill all these up. And then the second one I'm going to do a round one, and I'm going to use this little lid for it. And we do it the same way.
Oh, that's really cool. I like it.
Easy here. It's easy. Here, that'll be a little better anyway.
Because I mean, you find those silicone like ice cube trays everywhere now, and it's I forget, it was Dollar Tree or somewhere. There was somewhere it was like a Dollar Tree if it was an actual Dollar Tree, where I was like, wow, I wouldn't have thought that you could get these here. And I mean, like 5 million of them at Michael's, obviously, because they have that whole. They have what they deem a cake decorating area that, I mean, you can kind of repurpose for whatever craft you want.
Mm-hmm. Yes, right. Yeah. Oh, yeah. I like getting molds there. I would say Dollar Tree had the coolest flamingo ice cube trays, and I actually went today on my way home from work. So I'm like, that'll be perfect, and they didn't have them. They were out.
That's kind of sad, but I don't know. One thing about Dollar Tree is, they're going to have something cool next time.
Yeah, right. Yeah. Wait, here. I'll move it up so you can. Yeah.
It's a cool idea, though. I like the idea of like repurposing ice cube trays to make other things out of, because like they always look so cool, but then those are going to be permanent.
Yeah.
Or at least semi-permanent, It is. Let's see if this is a good idea.
And then I'm going to do this one, too. We'll make a little plaque.
Guess it must be like the salt dough, where you could always like poke a hole in it too if you want to make it into like an ornament or a thing that you can hang or whatever.
Yep, definitely.
I mean, I don't know what those are called, like those little signs that are not quite an ornament, but sort of like a non-Christmas ornament that's still an ornament.
For my soaps. Oh, that's awesome. You make cold processed soaps. Oh, I love making soaps. I want to do the.
Oh, really?
I've never made the loaf soaps where you make it in a loaf pan and then slice them.
Oh, that
I
would
want
be
to do
cool.
that next. Yeah, I want to do that next.
Do I care that these are? Could do that.
And it's actually been, I don't know if you find this to be true, Jay, but it's been very nice having a place to actually do, some DIYs and some projects like, on YouTube, because, we're busy with life and work and stuff. And like the last thing it seems you have time to do is to sit down and do some crafts, So
yeah,
doing a craft to make a video or like a live stream with you or something, it's really nice to have that opportunity to do it, because crafting for me is a nice therapeutic. I really do enjoy, as much as the gardening, I really do like doing stuff like this, but it just seems like there's never enough time. Well, I should say it seems like other things are more important to do,
Yeah. Who was it? I think it was my primary care physician who was saying, we were talking about something. I think it was some physical fitness working out thing and routines and whatnot. And it was like, well, if you're basically between like 35 and 65, like nothing happens that isn't like actually on your schedule. So like, if you really want to get it done, you should probably just put it on your schedule somewhere.
Yeah, very
And
true.
I'm like, you're right. Cause it's like, it's not that I don't have the time. It's that I just start doing other things, or other things like seem to be
Right.
important. But yeah, I don't know. I've been just sort of, it's interesting because I started paper crafting mostly during the pandemic. So I wasn't really around for in-person things. But when I first went to my first in-person thing this year, it's just sort of like, it's really cool to realize that there's like communities for all these things, locally.
Yeah. I used to scale 1 inch by. Oh, cool. My soups look like pastries and cakes. Ooh, my God, that sounds so cool.
It is. I've seen some of those. That's like a Japanese style thing, isn't it? I'm forgetting what the name of it is, but it's like a whole like you like sort of do cake decorating with either soaps, or I've seen a lot of resin crafts too that are sort of like, in the style of that, of desserts, which seems really neat. I mean, it seems like fun stuff to have just anyway. There we go.
All right. These are in.
But I totally agree. I mean, like, I don't know. It's like the YouTube or whatever other, or Facebook or whatever community you share your craft stuff with, I feel like that kind of gives you it gives you even more reason to do it, where it's kind of like, as an adult, it's easy to not do stuff. And this is not even, but that's okay. You can make it even. Oh, I measured it wrong. Well, that explains why it's not even. I wonder how these things work.
Okay, so those are done.
That's pretty okay.
You're making the card even now? That's what you just did?
Yeah, well, I was playing around with these strips, and I put them kind of off to the side accidentally, and then I just cut the card to be the right size because like it'll be a little smaller than. Well, these are more like these are like 4 by something, I think. What are these by? These are like 5 1/4 by 3 3/4 kind of. They're a weird size, but I was gonna cut them up anyway. But I kind of like the idea of like doing a tropical sort of scene. It makes sense in my head, sort of. I don't know. I don't know. Like, I aspire to be one of those people who designs things and has, you know what I mean? Like, I know lots of the people who are really good at that, but I still kind of have more fun just sort of winging it.
Yeah, I do.
Unless there's like, unless you're like really trying to kind of, I don't know, fall down the class rabbit hole of like, I really want to show you how to make something, but that doesn't happen very often. Although I stopped using the disclaimer on my videos that like I'm not going to teach you anything because it's sort of like, well, I might. I mean, accidentally. But yeah, this is so. I mean, I'm surprised. Like this card front that I just got from the Dollar Tree is really quite nice. And like with a little bit of work, it looks much better than I would have thought. I wonder if I want to do. Yeah, I kind of like. This is kind of pink with that, but I can always make some more. I need a little more glue though. I think I have one of these. I do.
All right. So just to show you, and then I'll put the camera back up. They're all done. Those are molds there. And the only thing that you want to kind of keep in mind is the back, since we're making magnets, we just kind of want to make them as flat as possible, because obviously that'll be the back. And then this is the one inside of just a lid like that, like a nice round one. And you could also roll them out and cut them with cookie cutters too. I prefer the molds only because when it's wet, it's kind of hard to separate them. Like you don't want them to split, and I move them to a drying rack, but they cut nice with cookie cutters. And then I did the one in the Tupperware container too. And we just want to make sure that it's the same thickness, all the way around there. And like you said, you could poke a hole in there with a straw if you want to hang, like some ribbon on it or something. But the only thing now is these have to dry. So you can leave them out overnight and they'll dry. You can put them in the sun and they'll dry a lot quicker. Or you can put them on like the lowest setting in your oven. You can put the silicone in there. And my Tupperware works in there. Actually, these are the ones you got us for our wedding, that big set of them.
Oh,
these are some of the ones from that, and I wanted something exactly this size. So it was like really perfect. And they go in the oven up to 200. So that worked out really well.
Oh, that's pretty nice.
And then I have some done. I'll show you in a minute. So let me move the stack up.
Oh, Blossom made a good point that you could probably use some sort of like either a clay or other kind of like stamp kind of thing in there if you wanted to. Or those I guess you could use those like whatever those are called, like the cake combs too, or something like that, where you could
you can carve in like
treat it like
you could do designs in them too, like carve in names. Or they had one, I looked online and they did like one that was about, I don't know, maybe like 3 of these tall, and they carved in hieroglyphics. It looked really cool.
Oh, wow.
And then hung it on the wall. That looked cool too. But yeah, like she said, you could use stampers in them. That works really well too. All right, so I'm going to let these dry. And And then I have this left over. And then we can mold them too. I'm not a good molder though. I wish I was. I'm just not.
Yeah, I think the only thing I successfully molded is like, I don't know, stuff like chocolate where it's basically liquid. So it's like you have to worry about not getting the bubbles, but that's about it, you know?
If we could make like a, oh, I wonder if it'll get hard.
And you might have mentioned it and I wasn't paying attention, but how long did they take to cure?
To cure overnight.
Okay, that's not too bad.
Yeah, you want to let them dry till they're like completely dry, and you could also put them in the oven on the lowest setting, like not more than 200. And you can also a great way is to set them out in the sun too. They'll take probably, well, like molds like that, probably like about 3 hours in the sun.
That's not too bad. Plus a pretty like fun project for kiddos too.
Oh yeah. I was experimenting with a sphere. I don't know. This probably would take 10 years to dry if I did something this big. Oh no, this I could put in the oven.
I don't know, Lala. Like my mom does a lot of ceramics. I think, I mean, there are kind of a couple variants. Like if you want to do like actual ceramics, you do have to find somewhere that has the kiln to fire them. But like, there's a lot of air dry stuff too. I don't know if they have it in the Philippines, but they have at least around here. There's a lot of places that you can kind of like get things that are what's it called, bisque fired basically. So and then you can just go and paint them. So they're like pre-fired pieces of pottery. But yeah, if my mom is any indication, pottery is another thing that you can spend a lot of money on tools for.
Wish I could play with you all. Marc, you can make a caterpillar, just a series of marble-sized spheres and a slightly bigger
Oh, that'd be
one.
cute.
Ooh, that's cute.
Oh yeah, we did that when I was in kindergarten. We did that, I think, with I think it was with that salt dough, but we like, we sort of we made like clay or of some sort of child food safe clay that like we just did like beads and then painted them when we were done with like tempera or something. I'm sure you could do a cooler looking thing than like kindergartners, but that is a good idea, Pam. You could make like really cute critters too. I mean, if that's your thing.
Yeah.
What do I want?
And then if you treat these, like if you spray them with acrylic spray, which I did, that you could put them outside too. I'm thinking, I don't know if I should make something to put in my
Oh, that's a good idea. Oh, that's like those cute little plant animals.
Yeah,
That'd be cool.
yeah.
I don't know. The one nice thing about
Yeah, and then read The Very Hungry Caterpillar. I remember that. That's a great idea.
I remember that book where
I do too.
So I remember it as like a kindergarten story time kind of thing. I guess we could do something. Keep a slight. I guess. I have sort of an idea. We'll see if it works. Oh, yeah. My friend Elise says her daughter Bianca has been using the air dry clay. I remember I had like a phase with it. I must have been in junior high where because it's the one I wanted to play with but haven't is the whatever it is, the polymer clay stuff that you can actually like bake in your oven and then it becomes uh fairly it becomes pretty permanent. I think I have an idea.
All right, we got a caterpillar going here.
Oh, he's cute.
Make his head now.
He's the same size. No, let's make them definitely not the same size. We do something like that. What do I need? I need something for you. That would be cute. What do I need?
Oh, San Diego.
Oh, that's cool. How have you been about anyway? Last I think I talked to you, I heard you were recovering from carpal tunnel surgery and such.
Oh.
Although I had another friend who had it recently and said like it was just one of those things where it's like once it was done, it was like things felt totally different. Although I don't know. All that stuff I'm like maybe after you recoup for a while.
And then I'll glue that together there. And we'll put him in a plant. I like it.
Where's my green? Where's your green? That's my green.
There. There's a little bit left.
I decide if this is too green or green. I don't hate it. Kind of like that green. That might work.
Nice.
Like super vibrant. I need to find something a little less vibrant, I think, for a base. I have all this gray I'm not using.
Oh, yes, thank you. That's it. It's Smokey Steve and Marc. Caterpillar antennas. How do I do that?
Oh, yeah. Sorry. I'll drop a link, guys. One moment. Goodness, I am not being. Some days I am not that the most professional. Usually when it gets close to Friday where you're like, oh yeah, I should do the YouTube-y things. And Marc's channel is pretty cool, or I should say Steve and Marc's channel is pretty cool because it's kind of more like a variety channel. So it's more like, you get a bunch of different stuff depending on what day you go. Marc usually posts his content Monday, and that's usually, I don't know, I guess it's not always a craft thing, but it's often a craft / garden / cooking thing. There you go.
Oh, look, you put a link up. How cool.
Well, it's so weird because it's like, I don't know. YouTube is strange because you never know who knows who. And like who, so I always like, there's so many channels. It's like, I've watched them forever, but then, it's been kind of fun crafting with friends on Thursdays.
Yeah, I'm going to
like everyone's got their own. I mean, everyone's got sort of their own perspective, which is neat. It's always like, I don't know. It's always interesting. Uh-oh. Maybe I probably don't want to cut that in half.
You know what? I think I'm going to use spaghetti.
And will those fuse together, or would you need to like glue them when you're done, kind of?
These ones, I didn't fuse them together, so I will, I'll hot glue them once they're totally dry. This one here.
That makes sense.
Yeah, I don't think they're, because they don't, oh, they are stuck together. Oh, maybe they will stay together. Oh, they might. Well, I'll let you know. But my plan was to glue them.
That makes sense. Pam, I think I feel your pain. The flamingo glitter is literally getting everywhere at the moment. I promise I won't. I promise I won't send you a card with flamingo glitter accidentally.
All right. So let me show you how mine turned out here. I have them done.
Oh,
and,
awesome.
I'll show you. So first, the ones that we did in the mold, the flower ones here. I've always liked this mold. And that's how they turned out there without like any paint or anything. And then I just attached magnets to the back. So they'll stick on the fridge. And then for the beach themed, I added a little shelves in the center.
That's really cute.
On there, and they're magnets too. And you could always paint them if you wanted to, you know, or use colored sand. And then the round one, that was the one that we made in the lid, like that. That. And it's a magnet, you know, like that. And of course, hot glue. That off of there. And then the bigger one, I used the bigger one. And I don't know if you can, it's shimmery. I don't know if you can see it on there or not. But that's
I love the shell. That's so cool.
Yeah, in the center. Yeah. And then lastly, the plaque, like that. And then this could be like a gift tag, or you could put it. I'm going to be putting it on top of a box, I'm going to attach it to the top of a box, and then I'm going to do the whole, shellac the whole thing. But it has glitter. I don't know if you can see it. This one I mixed glitter in with it. So.
Oh yeah. Well, it has there's like blues and stuff in there too. I think you can see.
Yeah. Okay, good. I'm glad you could see it. And then one of this size, you'll have to use 2 magnets for. The ones at the Dollar Tree anyway. They're pretty strong. I'm surprised. These magnets are great for $1.25. But you'll need 2 for this one. And then I just hot glued them to the back. So that's awesome. What I did with our seashell. My thought with these ones were like, okay, maybe it'll look like a sunshine, you know, with a shell in the middle, but it doesn't. It looks like a daisy with a shell in the middle of it, but it still looks okay.
It's still kind of cool.
I think I kind of just like them like that, but anyway. Yeah. But I like the round ones. And then what I'm gonna do, I got this sand is old. It's from when we went to Long Beach Island, and on the back I'm gonna put, you know, Long Beach Island 2019. You know, just to have a little memory, or I could carve it in the front or whatever, you know, just a memory. Memento. That's what I was trying to say. A memento. Like this one, I'm gonna put Long Beach on this one.
Ron is curious if you have if you have like a video that walks through how to make your dough.
No, I can though. It's really quite easy. Let's see. I don't have a video.
It's earlier in this
When I got,
stream, Rhonda, or Ramona. I think there's like because you went through the recipe, but
yeah, I wrote it down, so I was gonna hold it up, but my handwriting's terrible. But it's
yeah,
1 cup of flour,
same.
to 1/3 of a cup of water, and then you mix that together, and then you add 1 cup of sand, and then mix that together, and then knead it, and then you add 1/2 tablespoon of glue, just white glue, like tacky glue or Mod Podge or something like that. You add to that, and then finally you add 1 more 1/2 cup of sand to it, and then just keep kneading it until you get a dough like that. And then it turns out like this. And then I always give it a coat of Mod Podge or spray it with some acrylic spray at the end to give it that shiny gloss, and it kind of helps a little bit to hold together a little bit. Oh, what a great idea! I didn't even think of doing that. Thank you.
No, I was just writing while you were talking. I was like, oh, we'll just spam it in chat, and then because I'm trying to be a little bit more.
That is great.
A little more like I don't know, sensitive to the fact that some people like things visually versus auditorially, because like I'm definitely like I'm definitely more of a visual person, but not like to the extent some people are, if that makes sense. Like, but if having a funny kind.
Oh, like on the channel, I always try to it's different when you're making a video because you can bring in the text, live. Yep. You can't do that. So I was going to hold this up like you could read that. So I was going to rewrite it, but then I ran out of time, of course.
It happens. But I can show people the like 2 and sort of a half I've gotten done. I'll just swing us. So the first one was really simple. I just used my like lemon piece and then added a flamingo on top of it. And this one I didn't even decorate the inside or anything, but I kind of like the simplicity of like the big lemon. I thought that was kind of like I just will leave it like that because it kind of like I don't know. It gave me like there's an oopsie there. I'll have to fix later, but like it gives me like sun vibes, kind of. I don't know.
Yeah.
And these are pretty neat. As mentioned, like they probably will benefit. I probably need to go and like coat them in something that will hold the glitter because the glitter is not super attached. But then this was the other one I made. This is the part of the note card that I chopped up. And then this is the other napkin and then more flamingos. So this one I actually had an extra piece of this one. So I did like a little banner thing. Yeah, I don't know. I like decorating the inside when I remember or have time.
Yeah. Oh yeah, look. Oh yeah, those are nice.
Oh, hello, my crafty adventures. Welcome. I was like, I was going to ask you, do you have anything like upcoming on your channel you want to talk about or tell people about?
No, not really. Just the same old stuff. Like you had said earlier, we're pretty, I don't know, what do you call it? Eclectic, I guess, in our content. We're more like a lifestyle channel, I guess. I mean, we have, recipes and reviews and hauls and crafts and a lot of gardening now, this time of year. And it's a lot of fun. But we just have our regular stuff coming up. Tomorrow will be our Friday night chit chat video, and then Saturday it'll be Steve Will Try It. That's a segment where my husband Steve tries out whatever, like a product or whatever.
I loved all the infomercial ones. Those are just, I mean, just because. So I forgot. I probably told you this story a million times, but like when I was a kid, I was obsessed with like kitchen gadgets. Like that's the thing I wanted for Christmas. So like we had like a whole cabinet full of like, and of course, like, how could I put it? When I was 8, my mother cleaned it up. So I like that. I like the making it, but not the actual like, like pasta makers are fun until you have to like figure out where all the parts go and how they go together. But anyway, so I don't know. I just enjoy all the infomercial stuff because it's like some of them are products I remember, and other ones are just sort of like, oh yeah, I probably would have bought that if I was a child and was watching it, but I don't know.
Yeah. And it's a lot of fun when we making the spoof in commercials. They're a lot of fun to do.
Oh, those are cool.
They're like, I will look at a back like later in the night, and I'm like, oh my gosh, I have lost my mind. I actually did that. That's
I don't know. I think it's fun. Like, I don't know. I still like. I like screwing around with graphics and intros and stuff, and some stay and some don't. But it's just. Well, I mean, you guys have like really done a lot with editing in the last, I don't know, 5 years. 5 years? It can't be that long, but some amount of time. I feel like it.
Some amount of time. I don't even know myself. I don't even know. Oh yeah, maybe it is. I think we are going on our 5th year. Oh, I don't. You know who knows is Steve. I'll ask him. Because he had the channel before I was even involved on it, for a good while there, and then he was a weight loss channel.
Yeah, I think I missed that phase of it, but yeah, it's been through a couple of changes, but I don't know. I guess that's all I have tonight. I see you're cleaning up and stuff, so.
Oh yeah, sand everywhere.
Yeah. Yeah, it sounds like like the beach glitter. I remember like every time I went to the beach, it's like, like if you stay in a beach cottage or something, it's like you're always sweeping the sand out because you keep tracking it down.
Oh yeah.
But I'll just thank everyone for hanging with us for our initial technical stuff. And
I apologize about. I'll take full responsibility. I'll know next time. Now I'll know.
Oh, don't feel bad. I didn't fully tell this story, but so I was going live on Monday because someone had like a group of folks. Someone had asked me to go live and do a demo, and I'm like, I'll always demo something. Like, I'm not saying it's going to be good, but like I can always demo. But it was like, oh my god, I hadn't gone live in Facebook in forever, and it's like it was a hot mess, and like I don't know, it worked out, but it's always, I don't know, I always get kind of flustered when it's like, what's going on, and are you it's I don't know, it's one of those things. It's like, it's one of those, like, sometimes I think like doing mindfulness doesn't help me at all, but then it's like things like that happen and I'm like, yeah, no, I didn't have a meltdown, so that was probably good.
Yep.
But anyway, thanks for coming. You can catch Marc on Friday or Mondays with Marc on pretty much every Monday, I think. And I don't think I have anything super new coming up. We are going to be back on Sunday doing our normal card making things. But I am actually really impressed by the Dollar Tree stuff because, like, this is pretty nice looking paper for whatever it is, $1/4 of $1.25. So anyway.
Oh yeah.
But I will say goodnight, and thanks, Marc, for coming. And I will talk with all you guys later. I think I have it. Do I have an outro on StreamYard? I don't know. I probably do. Here it is. Anyway, have a good night, everybody.
Oh, yeah, have a good